What is up, guys? Welcome back to JoJo's Show MTG, and today we are doing day 4 in our quest series. Now, today's quest is to cast 20 red or black spells. I faced this deck recently and decided that I wanted to make my own version of it to show you guys and kind of fit perfectly for this quest today. So, we're going to be playing Brawl. This is going to be a Brawl deck based around Imskir Iron Eater. Now, he is a 5/5 for 8. But he has affinity for artifacts, so he costs 1 less to cast for each artifact I have on the battlefield. When he enters, though, I draw X cards and I lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts rounded down. So let's say I control 10 artifacts, I only draw 5 cards and lose 5 life. But that's still a lot of cards. Now, the great thing about him, too, is that I can pay 4 and sacrifice an artifact, and he'll deal damage equal to the sacrificed artifact mana value to any target. So I can pay 4, blow up one of my own artifacts, and throw it at my opponent or throw it at one of their creatures or planeswalkers. It says any target, so I'm allowed to do that to anyone. I feel like that is perfectly what we're going to build this deck around. Now, start off with our 1-cost spells here. We're going to just see a lot of removal. Dark Ritual, something I put in every black deck. It just helps accelerate everything. Reanimate, another great choice, of course. Thought Seize for that removal. And just a few little 1-drop artifacts that kind of just have cool abilities, or 1-drop guys that can make artifacts. It was perfect there. In our 2-drops here, we're going to see a lot of, again, removal. But of course, we got a bunch of ramp and protection in here as well. So we got removal like Bitter Triumph, Feed the Swarm, Go for the Throat, of course. But then we can go down here and see that we have some good ramp. We got Arcane Signet, of course, Cold Steel Heart. And then Jet and Ruby Medallion. Now, these serve a dual purpose in this deck. Not only do they make him cost 1 less because they're an artifact, they also make him cost 1 less because of their ability being red or black. So if I had both of them on the field, they'd make my commander cost 4 less to cast, which is huge for just 2 artifacts. Got Servo Schematic just to put another artifact out for a 2-drop, and Swiftfoot Boots to help protect that commander. Now, going into the 3-drops here, we have a little bit more ramp, a little bit more removal, but I also have some card draw and some cool creatures that play off on these artifacts that I'll be creating. So Black Market Connections will allow me to create a treasure every turn if I want to draw as well. Toxic Deluge for that good field wipe, 3-drop. Hero's Downfall and Phyrexian Arena. Phyrexian Arena will draw me. Hero's Downfall can get rid of those pesky planeswalkers who might stop us. We got some unique creatures in here like Brea's Apprentice and Bellowsmith Orge just because of the artifact and dealing damage to your opponent, of course. We definitely had to put Fabled Mirror Breaker in here because of the fact that it throws out tokens as well as it can create tokens. I threw Gardeck in here. This is not necessarily like the best card to put in almost any deck, but he has a really cool effect that I like where he's just going to create tokens every time I at least control for each non-token creature that died this turn. So I think he'll be able to put out a lot of treasures. We make my commander cheaper. It'll be perfect. Braska's Reforge. This will throw a Phyrexian out every single turn that I could use to just throw it at my opponent, which is great. Bank Job will again create more treasure tokens for things I don't cast. Then we got some ramp. We got the Palladian Mirror, Replicating Ring, and Celestius. The reason why I threw Replicating Ring in here is after 8 turns, it'll make 8 more copies of itself of just artifacts, so it's perfect. In our 4-drops here, we got Piltless Plunder, so we can create more treasures. We got Shieldred for the life gain, of course. Stormcurling, we have a lot of instants and sorceries in here, so he'll pump out treasures every time we burn or destroy one of our opponent's creatures. Key to the Archive, again, has such great spellbook out of all the draft spells for Brawl and MTG Arena. This is probably one of the best ones in the game. And then Solemn Simulacrum, of course, we can't go without the ramp. In our 5-drops here, we got Revel the Riches, so every single time a creature an opponent controls dies, I create a treasure. If I control at least 10 or more, I win the game. We're not really going for the win the game part, it's just the fact that every time we burn or kill one of our opponent's creatures, we can get a treasure from it. Goldspan Dragon doubles the amount of mana our treasures give us, and he can put treasures out himself. And then Gilded Lotus, of course, for that 5-drop, 3-mana tapper. Now, these are the kind of artifacts that we're going to get into now. We're going to try to be flinging at our opponent to do damage. So Wormcoil Engine, when we fling him, we're going to get another 3/3s, Lifelink and Death Touch. So that's perfect for that. We've got our Phyrexian Flesh Forger here. I can cast him for 3 as a prototype and then fling him for a 7 cost at my opponent, which is perfect. We got Terra Ballista here. Whenever he attacks, I can sacrifice another creature. If I do, destroy target creature an opponent controls. Again, he's a 7-drop that I can fling at my opponent, that I can cast for cheaper for 5 for his unearth cost. Blood Money, destroy all creatures and create treasures equal to that amount. We have a few field wipes in here because of this reason, and it gives us so much value. So if there's even 5, 10 creatures in the battlefield, we're going to get all those treasure tokens and be able to cast our commander right away the next turn, which is perfect. Forgmere Enforcer, he has Affinity for artifacts, so it costs 1 less, but he still flings at the opponent for 7, which is perfect. Brass Bounty, again, we have create a treasure for each land we control, which is huge. Hellkite Furnace, he's a 7-drop with Affinity for artifacts again, and he's a 5/5 that I can buff, of course, but again, we're going to be throwing him at our opponent with our Image Gear. And then lastly here is our Skitter Beam Battalion. There's a 4/4. You can cast him for Prototype, of course, but he's for 9, and we can fling him at our opponent for 9. So, this is the deck that I built so far here, and let's go try it out. Okay, our first opponent today looks to be Blue-Black Scud. Let's go here. So, this is good. So we got our living weapon here, we got 2 removal spells, and we have 3 mana, which we can get to Key to the Archive really quickly. So we're going to keep this hand. Okay, turn 1 Bitless Passage for him. We can get 2 more to the land goes out. Mountain out here. I am going to throw this living weapon out right off the bat. He's only going to be a 0/1, but again, or a 1/1, sorry, but he still counts as an artifact, so. And Cranial Ram is so good that he might even try to get rid of it himself. And waste the removal spell on it. Good thing with black and blue is they don't have a lot of things to get rid of artifacts, but they do have counter spells or return to my hand kind of stuff, so we'll have to be watchful for that. Again, we don't have nothing to cast right now. We'll just get him for 1. Hero's Heirloom. Okay, so he's got a lot of artifacts too. It looks like he's trying to go for more of a Tron. So he's going to be, not Tron necessarily, but he's going to be buffing one creature to be kind of throwing at me. We're not going to do anything here. Okay, turn 4, we got that Key to the Archive out. He does have a 1-drop. Looks like he says some kind of counter spell or something. Did not mean to pick the Frozen Grip, but that's fine. We'll just get rid of the Bitter Triumph here. I didn't throw 2 at him. Next turn we could cast our commander, but what I think I want to do is get the Goldspan Dragon out to create more tokens first, and then do our commander. He does leave 4 mana open, so I'm kind of worried about what he's going to be doing. He's probably going to counter something that I try to play here. I think the best thing to do would be to... Yeah, let's get our commander out. He's probably going to counter it, and that's fine. He's not. Okay. But we'll draw 1 card and lose 1 life. That's no big deal. And then we'll throw this little Gingerbread out. He's got to have a counter spell or a kill spell, something that's going to help him out here, because it's pausing every single time I try to play something. So we know he has something. Oh, just an unsummon? Okay. Fine by me. Okay, he's throwing his commander out. He's only have 1 land open. He can't equip that yet, so this is the perfect time right now for us to throw our Goldspan Dragon out. And then I could Frozen Grip that if I wanted to, but I think I'll save it for now and just kind of swing at him. So we're going to throw both of our creatures at him. I could have cast the Living Weapon thing on here, but I kind of want to leave the Frozen Grip or the thing open just in case. We're just going to full swing, actually. We create a free treasure off of this, which is huge. We'll see what he does. Now, I'm a little worried about his creature hitting me because he's going to be able to exile a creature that I control, put a hit counter on it, and I lose the game if I have 3 or more creatures with hit counters on it. But we should be able to kill him before he can even try to get something like that off, as long as he's not doubling his combat or something crazy. See, next turn I could, if I wanted to, pay 4 and fling this artifact at him for 4 damage. He's going to hit me here. He's going to probably exile the Goldspan Dragon. Yep. If he was an artifact, I would just fling it at him so he wouldn't be able to exile it, but... Why is he bouncing his own creature? Okay. Interesting. Okay, perfect. We got the Furnace Hellkite here. He doesn't have haste, and I can't give him haste, but we don't really necessarily need it. We're just going to be flinging it at him anyways. Get that massive amount of damage in. And then we'll just fling the Key to the Archive at him. Finish him off. Boom. So as you can see here, the deck runs pretty well. We can get a lot of ramp up, throw a lot of damage out pretty quickly, and being able to fling him like that, like just even the artifacts that I had on the field at the time, 11 damage is crazy amount to just kind of push towards somebody. And on top of all of that, I feel like it's a good deck. I would say if I were to rate this deck between like 1 and 10 like I've been doing, I would probably put it like a 6 or a 7. I don't know if it's going to be able to get you wins every single time, but I do think it's really good and reliable. So if you have any other questions or any suggestions on how to make this deck better, or what videos you guys would like to see, please just comment, like, or subscribe down below. Give me your feedback. I'd love to hear it. You can message me on any one of the platforms I have too. I love talking to people. And then I also stream every day from 1 to 3 on Twitch. Might be doing later times, but for now it's 1 to 3 on Twitch, and I'll most likely be doing drafts or just climbing standard rank during those times. So come check me out if you'd like, and thank you for watching.